Let's see how we can filter data in a pivot table. First, we're going to use the filters area. So suppose I want to grab addition and bring it into the filters. And now if we are interested only in additions, first and second editions for books, because we want to select 2 items, we have to check this box. And I'm going to uncheck all of them. And now I can select 1 and 2. The coolest method of filtering data in a pivot table is using slicers. So I click where I have my pivot table and I go to PivotTable Tools, Analyze, Insert Slicer. If you have a date field, you can use a timeline. So we go there, and suppose we want to focus on some disciplines. I'm going to check the discipline. That gives me the option of all the disciplines. I can make now my selection. So I want to choose criminal justice. I hold down Control and I choose now introductory, race, class, gender, social problems, social psychology. I see how it's filtered nicely. And then maybe I would like to play a bit with this slicer. So just choose a style that you want. You have many styles from here. And then you can put in how many columns you want. So it's up to you. And you can also work on the size. You can also resize it manually. So those look like, some little buttons that you can press. So then you can have your selection. Let's work on the style for the pivot table too. We go to the Design tab. And you can choose any style you want. Let's now use the familiar method of filtering data. You know it from the tables. We go to the copyright year, and we would like to show only 2020 and 21. We know that the author should receive 10% of the book sales. So let's go in our pivot table now, and let's account for that. We're going to create a calculated field. We can click on Analyze, and you should find here calculations. As usual, you can just type calculated field in the box here, and it will help you. Okay, and then I'm going to name this one author royalties, and that should be, remember, 10%, so that's 0.1 of times, and that should be of the total book sales. The way to do it, in the fields over here, you can just select your field. I can double click it. It goes into the formula. I can add the formula. It gets added in the pivot table fields right there. So let's push OK. Let's move the slicer out of the way. Let's go ahead and format all these labels. We can wrap text. So they would wrap on 2 lines if we adjust the columns now. Okay, that looks good. Be sure you actually see, for example, here I need to see multiple items. And then over here, total sales by discipline, I cannot see it, so I need to adjust the row height a bit. Okay, sales by what? I need to adjust the row height here too. So always double check to see everything is readable. Next, we'd like to create a new pivot table to show which discipline and which copyright year contributed the most to the book sales. Instead of going back to the books data and creating from scratch a pivot table, we can make a copy of an existing pivot table. So we have this pivot table sheet, and I can just use the Control key, and I hover my mouse over pivot table, I press down, and I just move it to the right, and I have a perfect copy. Now, a quick tip: if you do not see pivot table fields, so if you by mistake close it, then you can actually go to Analyze and you can click it back there. Now let's go ahead and remove all the filters. We can do this simply from here. So we want to have no filter for the discipline. I'm going to clear the filter. Same thing for the addition. I can just select everything. And for the copyright, I can go there and I can clear. Let's also click on the slicer and push delete. And we do not need the author royalty, so I can just remove it. To show which copyright year was most successful for every discipline, we need to actually have the grand total here like 100%, and then 2018, 19, 2020, 2021 to be a percentage and cumulative to give us 100. So how can we do that? You can right click on these numbers and you can summarize by different functions, right? But you can also go show values as. and I want to show as a percent of row total. Okay, and as you can see now, we see for aging and death, we see that 2021 was the most successful, save for criminal justice and the family. Now over here in the introductory, it looks like 2020 was the most successful. Miscellaneous 80%, so that's 2021. Again 2021, and then we have a 2020, 2021, and 2021. Now let's see which discipline and which copyright year was the most successful. To do that, we're going to need to change show values as, not by row total, but percent of grand total. And if you want, you can use the familiar conditional formatting, top bottom rules, top 10 items, and we can do top 1. And it looks like this race, class, gender in 2021 copyright year was the most successful. Let's go ahead and undo the conditional formatting. And one more thing we can do, when you go to the design tab, you can show banded columns just to make it more readable if necessary. If you don't like it, you can just undo it. So you have these options, banded rows and banded columns.